Some brands chase moments and other brands master the moment. I'll show you how to do that by looking at some examples from Carmelo Anthony, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or however Marshawn Lynch pronounced his name. And of course, Nike. Let's get into it. So, first we have Carmelo Anthony. He has been inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is in high honor in any level of sport. And for Carmelo Anthony, who's somebody that has had great individual moments, but wasn't able to achieve on the team level outside of Team USA, this is a big moment to celebrate and honor him. Should have been Rookie of the Year over LeBron. Y'all can debate me on that in the comments, but this is his moment. And he's been flourishing post-retirement, honestly. He's about to step into a role as an analyst on NBC. And so this is just like the perfect time to solidify him as a Hall of Famer in the eyes of the public. And he's doing a great job of doing that. One of the biggest platforms to acknowledge that, it's been 2K. He is a cover athlete with 2K this year, along with Angel Reese and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And he also just recently helped to open up the 2K house in New York City, which is an activation space, courts, gaming, all the things, kind of bringing the 2K experience to life IRL, which is a great activation by 2K to kind of kick off the launch of that game being available and using one of the cover athletes. So you get that huge visibility. He's done the media roadshow. He has 7 p.m. Brooklyn. They're on a little hiatus right now before they start up there, I believe, season 3. But, he was on Jimmy Fallon, he was on Colbert and doing that thing. So again, you get the mass awareness, but where all that culminates in a very special way is through his own brand, which is the Stay Mellow cannabis brand that he launched earlier this year. And my favorite part of this whole thing is the name of the strand that he is producing in celebration of this moment. Hall of Flame. That's perfect. I love a play on words, and that one was a layup, and he executed it like only Melo can. So dope to see him kind of live in that and own that about him and create relevant products that connect to his personal story, right? That will translate to sharing his message. And excuse the fire alarms and police. I'm in Atlanta, so this is gonna happen. But yeah, to just shout out to him for leveraging all of his lived personal experiences, right? Not shying away from them, but creating authentic products and moments and celebrating that out loud. That's how we get Hall of Flame. Fire. Spark that up. You know what I'm saying? Next on the list, we're going to talk about Mr. Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA MVP. Now, I've talked almost ad nauseum on this channel about what he is doing with Converse and that entire rollout that they executed starting at All-Star Weekend. Again, it's just they have been on point, right? They took advantage of All-Star Weekend, which is a huge moment to unveil the sneaker. They've hit experiential beats, blasting his logos when he wins games at Boston. Converse is based in Boston, so that's a nice tie. They've rolled out new shoes round by round, inspired by his family during the playoffs. Again, that's just marketing strategy, meeting execution, timing, all of that. They even got a nice little Adidas troll in there because that's the other one to watch with Anthony Edwards and the AE2. They've been just like also similarly killing it. So those are the bars now for athlete signature marketing and development and campaigns. Like they're it, right? And now the one problem or the one hole you could poke in all of this masterful storytelling has to lead to something. It has to sell a product eventually, right? We're not just telling stories to tell stories. And the way that, I'm sure that production timelines are set up, September, October is the time to release new shoes because back to school shopping, schools are ordering from the catalogs to get sneakers for their teams for the fall basketball season, whether it's school, whether it's rec, whatever the case may be. That's the time you want to have your product in the marketplace. And that is a long ways from June April, honestly, when you started promoting all these colorways and things like that. So there's a little bit of that, like you're trying to really manage supply and demand, right? Or just like timing. And you have to capitalize on that moment that was the playoffs. But there's going to be this window of just like nothingness, right? And so I think they did a great job of re-energizing right before the launch. You do the standard beauty shots and, they did some teaser content with Shai and all that is well done and looks great. But more importantly were the activations, he did at his camp, like right before, right? So you're energizing the youth, you're connecting on that level. And then the kith activation in Toronto was really dope. Seeing his cousin waiting in line with the shoes on already, but still staying up overnight just shows like how passionate people feel about this product. And the result, instant sellouts, right? So it's important to, again, start that energy, create those moments and really kind of build that hype so that it could culminate in a sell through. And that's what they were able to do. And you sell out in September, but that story started in February publicly, sure, months before that, planning and designing and all those things. So I love to see a plan come together. So shout out to Converse and Shai on a successful launch. I'm looking forward to what they got cooking up next. I already see some teasers kind of come out about October family colorways are starting to launch. So they're one of the ones right now. To me, there's a 3-man signature race to see who's going to be the winner. And that's Anthony Edwards and Adidas, the Ja 3s with Nike, and the Shai 1s with Converse. That's the ones. There's another one, the Jordan, the LeBron 23s are sneaking up on me. They might have something to say, because also it's weirdly looking like this might be LeBron's last year. They're definitely making a big deal out of it as they talk about the design language of the shoe, and they talk about all of the nitty gritty that's going down on his Forever King China tour. It seems like they're like planting the seeds for LeBron retirement. But let me know, y'all think this is LeBron last year? It's 2030. Like, it would be a nice story. I love a good story. That would be a nice story to wrap up on 23. And that outsole, man, the 2-3 on the outsole, that's tough. LeBron's always felt a little too heavy to me, but I think the ones I've seen that are based off their Air Zoom generations, those look light, those look nice. I think if they start to lean into that aspect instead of kind of like the crown, the bulk of the LeBron's always gets a little tricky, but it's got to be built for his game and his style of play. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my sleeper. But those are the ones, and we'll see how they stack up as the year goes along. I'll be here to let you know about it too. So the last thing we want to talk about, right, is Nike. And Nike is the best in the game when it comes to these kind of hero spots. Like, they make the right reads. They are able to see the game from a 10,000 foot view and kind of dish out what's needed. And that is their genius. And it shines in these hero spots. Their latest one kind of flips their iconic Just Do It ad and kind of reframes it around why do it.
You can give everything you have and still lose. But my question is, what if you don't?
Now, the genius part of it is linking with Tyler, the Creator. You know, he's having a moment. He has his own very strong personal brand position about creativity and action and execution. And, you know, Don't Tap the Glass is a perfect example of just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole impetus is to not sit on your gifts and talents, but to release them into the world. And he's obviously coming from a very music creative space, but what Nike does masterfully here is connect that to athletics, which is what they sell. So, and they sponsor him on the Converse side. So it's just like beautiful connectivity on that, and a conversion of similar beliefs and ideas. That's what all great collaborations need to be rooted in. And they know that on this one, why do it, right? Is a kind of flip on it. Like it's a little cheeky, you know, they're trying to play on it. It's still just do it, but it's like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like what happens if you don't do it? And I think that is a mantra, that is a belief, right? Like we always talk about, you selling belief, right? Like Nike isn't selling you sneakers, they're selling you emotions. They're selling you to believe in yourself to do that. So by having a non-athlete preach a message that's rooted in personal aspiration and development, pair that with a Nike athletes and Nike products, and they embody those same sentiments, you see how those connections are made. And I love it. That's just a great one. You know, football season's coming around, so we got a lot of new ads and Halo campaigns hitting the marketplace, but you knew Nike was gonna make their presence felt, and that was a great one. So yeah, that's kind of where wrap things up. Like, you know, if you want to keep learning how to master your personal brands and master storytelling and positioning, you know, I'm here to break those down for you. So if you made it this far, got to give me a like and a subscribe. Holler at me in the comments too. Again, I want to keep engaging. I don't want this to just be a one-way conversation. I want us to be in conversation together. So I appreciate you if you made it this far. If you did, definitely drop a comment, and I'll catch you on the next one. We got a lot of things cooking up. Football season's back, and NBA season's right around the corner. Training camp start, I believe, at the end of the month. So I'll be here to break it all down and help you guys build your brands, or just even learn about some of the behind the scenes mechanics that make the things you see in the world come to place. Whatever it is that you like, I appreciate you for being here with me today to talk about it. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.